Guys, I rated it 2 stars. I rated it 2 stars, but it's dragons. So I hope that's a good enough explanation for everyone. Ooh, it's that time again. Hello guys, and welcome to the May wrap up and the June TBR video. Now I read, how many books did I read? Let's see. I read 6 books in May. Now I'm actually almost finished another book and it is technically May 29th or May 30th and I have that much left of a book, but this will be in the June video. Let's just get straight into it, shall we? This is in I guess I can do it in order. So first book I read in May was Better Than the Movies by Lynn. This book was a 5-star read, 5 stars. It was so good, so good. I felt physically ill. There was one point in the book when I felt actually physically ill. So you're following this character called Liz who lost her mum, and basically she has this next door neighbor called Wes, and it's a fake dating trope, I'm pretty sure. Well, like kind of. It's pretty much a fake dating trope, which I usually don't like, but this was really good. It was so enjoyable. I loved the characters. Absolutely 5 stars. And the cover is adorable. So I keep trying to find book 2, but every store I go to, it's sold out. But definitely 5 stars. Absolutely loved this. And this is the first Lynn Painter book I've ever read. So off to a very good start. Next is Redeemed by Lauren Asher. Now this is book 4 of a 4-book series. It's about F1 racing and basically you're following each guy. And I think the same team. Anyway, this one was definitely quite different to the other ones, as the main character Mayo actually had to stop racing because of an injury. But it's a gorgeous story. I actually love it so much. And again, like these stories actually go through a lot of grief and talk about grief and how these characters go through the things they go through. And that was a terrible explanation. But even though this book does have spice in it, it's, you know, yeah. But it's actually, the actual storyline of this book is just gorgeous and you just fall in love with the characters, like absolutely fall in love. And there's also like side plots to it as well, which just makes the story so much more than just like a fluffy romance book. So this was also 5 stars, which is crazy. Moving on. Next, I read Powerless. Now, I rated Powerless 4 stars. First of all, this is my only hardcover book I own, and I absolutely love hardcovers, I've decided. They're just so much easier to read because they just sit like that. And not to mention, I mean, this book is gorgeous. Like, look at that map. I actually don't know what I did with the cover of the hardcover, but anyways. So I rated this one 4 stars. I definitely like Kai and I like Peyton, and the story is good. It's just, I thought it would be more world building than there actually is. And I know a lot of people kind of hate when book 1 is full of world building, but I kind of love that, you know? And I mean, you still get a map, like you still understand what's going on. It's not like you're just confused the entire time because they didn't world build. I love world building. Call me crazy, I love world building. And I was kind of sad that there wasn't more description of the environment, I guess. It's kind of a weird thing to nitpick. This is definitely just personal preference, but I definitely like the book. I mean, I have book 2 locked in and ready to go. It took me a little longer to get through than I was expecting, but I also think because it is like kind of a long book, and also because I'm not used to reading pages that are this large, so it definitely took me longer than usual. Now, I would butcher at explaining Powerless to you right now, so I feel like I'm not the person to try and explain the plot of this book, but basically it's good. So I really hope that helps you guys with your understanding of this book. Moving on. So we are kind of speed running this today, but it's because I'm going to go through my June TBR in the same video, so I feel like we don't need to yap as much. You know what I mean? What was next? Oh, okay. Next was The Rogue King. Now this is book 1 of a 4-book series. I'm actually currently reading book 2. This book has been on my shelf for it's probably one of the longest books that have been on my shelf. I picked it up ages ago and for some reason I just never wanted to read it. I actually ended up rating this 4.5 stars. Now it's definitely spice, which I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. Like it literally has like an explicit content warning in the front of the book. I just picked it up, read the back of it and was like, dope, amazing. I just assume every book is young adult and it's just not. It's still a good book, like it didn't put me off or anything, but it just, Wasn't expecting it. Now, I'm a little sad because book 2 definitely doesn't hit as well, but I think it's just because I fell in love with the characters in book 1. This is my problem, right? When a book series in the second book follows a different people, like, of course you're still hearing about the 2 people in this book, which is Kasai and Brand. I don't know if I said their name right. And of course in the second book you still hear about them and they're still there, but they're not the main people, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I think I get too attached, and then book 2 it's different people and I'm like, I don't care, I want to know about these 2. So I rated this 4.5 stars though, which maybe I would change that to a 4, but it was a good book. Like, I enjoyed it, which is, I also love that I enjoyed it so much considering how long it was on my shelf. Anyways, 4.5 stars, good book, dragons, yes. As I said, actually, I'm pretty sure I said this in choosing my May TBR, I was worried because this would be combat heavy and I was really worried I wouldn't like it. It is extremely combat heavy, but I still really, really enjoyed it. So that's saying something considering I usually hate that type of stuff. Moving on. Also, if I'm kind of speaking quick too, it's because I have to leave on a road trip today, like this morning, so I'm really trying to speed run and get so many things done this morning. Moving on, next is The Silent Patient. Now, I was so excited to read this book and it did not disappoint. I pretty much read the entire book in one day. Guys, it is so good. Obviously a 5 stars. It's so good. I actually could not get over how much I enjoyed it. So let me just read the blurb for you guys. I don't really want to say anything about the story because I just don't want to spoil anything. Like, if you were to read this book, don't read anything else about it. Just go straight into it. Please, trust me. But I'll read you the blurb. Alicia Berenson lived a seemingly perfect life until one day 6 years ago when she shot her husband in the head 5 times. Since then, she hasn't spoken a single word. It's time to find out why. Guys, this book, honestly, probably if I could rate a book 6 stars, I would rate this 6 stars, which is crazy because I don't think I've ever said that about a book, but this book is incredible. So yes, moving on. Now, this last book was on my Kindle. My Kindle is under the stack of books. Hold on, whoopsies. So this last book is on my Kindle, and ignore the stickers, look at them, they're all over the place. Is Sorrow and Starlight, which is Zodiac Academy Book 8. I rated it 2 stars. I rated it 2 stars. 1,200 pages. For what? I'm sorry, how long did it take me to read? It took me a month and a half to read. It was so bad, guys, and I'm so sad because Zodiac Academy was so good up to like book 4, and then I was like, okay, everything's getting a little bit strange, what are we doing, what's going on? And now it's just trash. Now it is just trash. Do I still want to finish it? Yes, but book 8, there's so many things I want to say right now, but I can't because I don't want to spoil the book for anyone. 1,200 pages. You would think that I would be so attached to these characters and that I would be in love with everyone and the world. Look, the world building and stuff is amazing, but I don't know if I can finish this series. It's getting real bad. I'm currently started book 9 though, and it's only like 400 pages, but I'm still just so sick of it. Like, I don't want to hear them speak one more time, and I don't know if that's how I should feel about a book. But that being said, like, I feel like with this series there must have been just true die-hard fans of this book, and that's why they go into so much detail about everything ever, because the first couple books were not this long, and now it's just like dragging on and it's driving me insane. So feeling really good about that. So those are all the books I read in May, only 6, but that's okay. Look, I did read some longer books, so I didn't really though, so I don't really know what's going on. Now, let's move on to my June TBR. Now, the only book I didn't read that I wanted to read in May was Emily Henry's Great Big Beautiful Life. Now, that's actually not in my June TBR because I do have just so many good fantasy books that I want to read, and because I'm in the fantasy mood, I'm just gonna leave that one probably till next month. But let's move on to the June TBR. Now, first and foremost, we have The Blood King, which is book number 2 of the Rogue King. Now, again, I probably have like 60 or so pages left. I'm definitely not loving this as much as book 1, but we can talk about that at the end of June. But this is book number 1. Again, it's just the second book of a series, so I can't really talk that much about it. But it's dragons. So I hope that's a good enough explanation for everyone. Next is actually Happy Place by Emily Henry. Now, I've read every book, like every romance book by Emily Henry, apart from Happy Place and her new book. So I really want to read this one. It's been on my shelf for ages, and I'm pretty sure this is usually people's favorite Emily Henry book. And also it's literally so gorgeous. So I'll definitely be hopefully reading that this month. Again, it's just a silly rom-com. Like, I feel like I don't really need to explain it to you guys. But I just cannot get over Emily Henry covers. Who designed this one? Cover design and illustration by Holly Ovenden. Well, you ate. So now this book I'm extremely excited for. It's the first book of the Shatter series. Now, I have heard so much about this. I have heard the first book is not the best book because it's kind of world building. But we know how I feel about world building. So I'm very, very excited. Ooh, I haven't even read the blurb of this because I just picked it up because I have a feeling I'm gonna like it, and that's the only reason I picked it up. No one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal. Ooh, but the re-establishment has plans for her. Plans to use her as a weapon, but Juliet has plans of her own. Okay, eating up. I'm eating this up. So super excited to read this. Gonna probably smash through it. I really hope I like it because I rarely get super duper excited about books, which sounds kind of silly, but I like to have low expectations because I think it's unfair to the book if I have really high expectations going into a book. But I definitely have high expectations for this. So let's just hope it doesn't disappoint. Okay, so I know I said I was trying not to start any more series until I finish some, but I'm starting a lot of series in June. Next is Red Rising by P.S. Brown. Now, I actually have a friend reading this at the moment, so that's why I want to read it. Also because I got it for my birthday, so I just don't want it to be a book that sits there for months and months and months. So I really want to read it. I've been excited about this book forever. So you're basically following... The reason they have a blurb is to describe to you what's going on. So I'm going to shut up and I'll just read it to you. Does that sound like a good idea, guys? The Earth is dying. Tahereh is a red, a miner in the interior of Mars. His mission is to extract enough precious elements to one day tame the surface of the planet and allow humans to live on it. The Reds are humanity's last hope. Okay. Okay. Guys, there's so many good books in my TBR this month. I'm so excited. But I think this is like a 5 or 6 book series. Anyways, moving on. Next is book number 2 of Powerless. So we have Reckless. Now, I did get it in the hardcover version. I have decided for this entire series, I'm going to get them all in hardcover because then it looks pretty on my shelf. So, very excited about this. Again, the problem is some of these are the second book of a series and I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to ruin the books for anyone. But I'm actually super excited to read this. It is shorter than book number 1 as well, which I think will be good for me. I'm actually super duper excited. Oh, it's still like 400 pages, but it's shorter than the other one, so whatever. Now, the last book on my June TBR is The Orphanage by the Lake by Daniel G. Miller. Look at that. It says Irresistible by James Patterson. I love a good James Patterson moment, so if he likes this book, I'll probably like this book. I will read the blurb for this book as well because I feel like I will butcher it if I try and explain it to you. A missing girl, an orphanage filled with secrets. Hazel wants a new life. She's 30 years old, single, and her private investigation business is months away from folding. Her luck takes a turn when Madeline Hemsley, a mysterious socialite, pays Hazel a visit with an offer too enticing to resist. An orphan girl has disappeared from a children's home. The Orphanage by the Lake, as the locals call it. And Madeline wants Hazel to find her. At first glance, it appears to be a standard runaway case, but as Hazel plunges into the investigation, she finds signs of something more. Unexplained bloodstains, cryptic symbols, sinister figures shadowing her every move. The more she digs, the more she realizes that the Orphanage by the Lake holds terrifying secrets. And even worse, so does Madeline. I'm probably gonna eat this book up. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys, well, next week, technically, for for a new video, but at the end of June as well, for the wrap up of all these books. There are so many good books on my TBR this month. I am so excited. I'm actually so excited. I'm definitely going to read this one first because this one is the one I'm most excited about. That's so creepy. To the missing girls. Okay. All right, goodbye guys. I'll see you all next week.